Independent Islamic Republic.
Foreign Policy Hub.
The Sanctimonious royal family of Qatar has banned the sale of beer near football stadiums at the World Cup, which starts in a day. Beer will be limited. After negotiations between the authorities of Qatar and Fifa, it was decided to limit the sale of alcoholic beverages to fan zones and other special areas for fans, removing the points of sale of beer from perimeters of the stadiums out there. Football fans will be able to cool on these autumn-winter days in Qatar when the temperature reaches to about 30 degrees, but only with soft drinks like Fanta and Coca-Cola. It's terribly sad news for companies like Budweiser. Budweiser has been the official beer of the World Cup Championship since 1985. The brewery company commented on the statement on its Twitter account, but then they soon deleted the tweet. What's interesting about this situation is the official FIFA fan guide previously reported that beer would be sold to ticket holders at the stadium at a price of about $14 per bottle, and according to some early reports, it was supposed to set a limit on 4 drinks to order at the stadium, but now they've banned it. Some on social media are celebrating. But is there really anything to celebrate? Isn't this all hypocritical? If it truly was a Muslim nation, which it claims to be with a 65% Muslim majority, and its grand mosque named after Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, a very well-known historical figure from Saudi Arabia who gave birth to Wahhabism. Shouldn't the Qataris ban alcohol completely? Why limit it? Why even allow it in some places? Personally, I don't really care whether they ban it or not, but to limit it and to appease their countrymen is hypocritical. They aren't being true to their values and their traditions and their religion. It's almost like saying alcohol is allowed in Islam, but only in certain places like your hotel room and fan zones. And the reason why they're ready to limit alcohol in this case is because they don't want to upset the people in their country, especially the radicals that live there. Qatar has supported radicals in Syria for a very long time, like the Al-Qaeda offshoot, Al-Nusra, and groups in Libya and other Arab nations. They use them and they have a lot of them in their country, ready to export to different places. So clearly, they don't want to upset these mad folks through the sale of alcohol. The hypocrisy doesn't end there. Qatar got elected to host the World Cup on December 2nd, 2010 in Zurich. The struggle in the decisive round unfolded between the Americans and the Qataris, and Qatar won. 4 years later, the media accused Qatar of receiving points illegally. France Football magazine, a reputable sports publication in Europe, said that Qatari football officials bought 4 votes from the African Federation for $1.8 million. Then there was an email leaked from Mohammed bin Hammam, a former football representative from Qatar, which showed that he spent a total of $5 million on bribes to officials in FIFA, so they would vote in favor of his country, Qatar. How very Islamic, right? Qatar is also accused of slave working conditions for workers at construction sites of these lavish football stadiums. There's been numerous deaths recorded at construction sites. Most of the workers have been from poor countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. And according to the Guardian newspaper, in 3 years out of the 2 million labour migrants, up to 4,000 workers died from unbearable conditions whilst working at these stadiums in Qatar. So let's get this straight. For Islamic reasons, they limit the sale of alcohol, but they don't want to provide better working conditions nor wages to these workers. Is it right to treat these poor workers as slaves? Is this in accordance with Islam? Of course not, but this is the level of hypocrisy we're dealing with. Qatar is trying to keep a balance. For years, it's used religion, promoted a lot of extremism all across the planet with their Saudi friends, who also accuse Qatar of promoting terror, and now they've realized the game is up. So for economical reasons, they desperately need the World Cup to work for them, whilst also at the same time trying to appease the radicals in their country. To make the World Cup a success for Qatar, it's all about money. They couldn't give a toss about religion. It's about international prestige, economic calculations and commercial profits. On another note, strictly speaking, if they truly follow the teachings of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, the founder of Wahhabism from Saudi Arabia, they wouldn't allow football in their country to begin with, because there's nothing Islamic about men kicking a ball around, getting sweaty and wearing shorts. Yes, wearing shorts is forbidden according to their school of thought. The only shorts that should be worn is shorts that go below the knee. But when people are kicking balls around, even if they are wearing shorts with some length, there's bound to be a few moments when the kneecaps are shown. Thank you for listening to the Independent Islamic Republic of Foreign Policy Hawk. Assalamu alaikum, adios, sayonara, shalom aleichem. Have a lovely night and don't watch the World Cup. Boycott the entire thing.